Hello, my name is Linda Stump, Chief of Police here at the University of Florida. I want to thank you for participating in this training presentation involving the background requirements and duty actions associated with your role as a University of Florida Campus Security Authority, or UF-CSA. Your role of being a UF-CSA is directly related to either your position as a UF employee or as a UF club or organizational advisor. Let me assure each of you, you are not a law enforcement official. The primary action required of you while serving in this role is to report without delay any potential criminal information provided to you directly to the University of Florida's CSA coordinator, whose contact information will be provided to you in this presentation. While serving as a UF CSA, it is likely that you will never have to report such information. Still, it's essential that you are aware and knowledgeable of the actions you must take should the need arise. Your role as a UF CSA is critical to ensure UF compliance with federally mandated law and, more importantly, helping to keep the University of Florida a safer community.
Welcome to the University of Florida Campus Security Authority, also known as CSA, training presentation. This short tutorial will provide you with the basics of what you need to be aware of to meet the University of Florida's obligations under the CLERY Disclosure of Campus Security Policy and Campus Crime Statistics Act, better known as the CLERY Act. Choosing a college is a major decision for students and their families. Along with academic, financial, and geographic considerations, the issue of campus safety is a vital concern. The federal government began to require educational institutions to disclose safety and crime information at the urging of the parents of Jeannie CLERY, a young woman brutally victimized by another student while she attended Lehigh University in Pennsylvania. Her parents believed that had their daughter known about the violent crime the other student had been involved in, she would have been more careful. As a result, the CLERY Act requires higher education institutions to report campus safety policies and procedures, as well as crime and fire statistics to current and prospective students, staff, and faculty, as well as the Department of Education. This information is then posted electronically for review. Many crimes, especially sexual violence, are not reported to law enforcement. Victims of crime often turn to trusted UF employees, just like you, to discuss the nature of what took place and to seek advice on what to do next. To ensure that students, staff, faculty, and others who work and/or visit university and college campuses throughout the United States are made aware of potential dangers and incidents that have occurred, the CLERY Act requires all institutions of higher learning to gather and publish data from both law enforcement and CSAs. You may be a CSA by virtue of your position or role at the University of Florida. As a designated CSA, you are not considered either a security officer or a law enforcement official. Your role as a CSA merely involves the process of providing the potential criminal incident information you receive and notify the University of Florida Police Department, UFPD, as quickly as possible. This process will be described in more detail later in this presentation. You may wonder exactly who the CSAs for the University of Florida are. CSAs for the University of Florida are designated officials like yourself who have significant responsibility for student and campus activities. These activities include, but are not limited to, student activities, student housing, student athletics, and student judicial and discipline proceedings. Individuals identified as CSAs include designated staff members associated with the University of Florida, and in some more specific cases, the University of Florida Division of Student Affairs, faculty or other staff members who serve as advisors for the various student groups and organizations, coaches and other designated staff affiliated with the University of Florida Athletic Association, and the designated staff members of the University of Florida Department of Housing and Residence Education. If you have questions regarding how you have been designated as a CSA, please contact the University of Florida CSA Coordinator, Major Brad Barber, through email at wbarber@ufl.edu. That's wbarber@ufl.edu. There are people, however, who are not considered CSAs. They include individual faculty and/or clerical staff who are not advisors to student groups, administrative staff not responsible for students, individuals working within the scope of their license or religious assignment that provide confidential counseling, and non-professional and contract staff. You are exempt from reporting if you are a pastoral or professional counselor acting within the scope of that role as alluded to previously. If you are exempt from reporting, however, we ask that you still encourage those who are victims to report the incident to the UFPD. You can also tell the person that he or she can report the crime anonymously to the UFPD through the use of the web-based UFPD Silent Witness Referral System. The silent witness information can be found online at the link provided on this slide. Our goal is a safe campus, and having all crimes reported to the UFPD is a vital step in obtaining that goal. If you become aware of any incident, whether you are on the University of Florida campus or not, where immediate danger is a concern, please call law enforcement authorities at 911 without delay, and officers from the appropriate law enforcement agency will immediately be dispatched to your location. Under the CLERY Act, a crime is considered reported when it is brought to the attention of a CSA. As a CSA, you document the incident as told to you and report it to the University of Florida Police Department CSA coordinator. The UFPD CSA coordinator can be reached by calling 352-494-6068 or through email at updcsa@ufl.edu. If it is an emergency, please call 911. Your only requirement is to get the information as relayed by the person and provide that information to UFPD. Police personnel will assess the information provided from there. And when in doubt, always report. A crime has been reported to you, so you need to get the facts. The location is an important part of the CLERY Act reporting. Be sure that you can document when and where the crime or incident occurred, when the person reported it to you, and who was involved. As discussed previously, as a designated CSA, you are asked to report incident information provided to you immediately via email at updcsa@ufl.edu. In the following slides, you will first see the actual list and definition of crimes that need to be documented, the location of where those crimes were reported to have occurred, and the information requested by the UFPD for reporting purposes. This slide and the following slides have information that you may want to pause the training in order to completely review. These slides are a comprehensive list of crimes and their definitions as required to be reported by the University of Florida in accordance with the CLERY Act. As has been alluded to previously, we understand that you're not a law enforcement officer and may not fully understand how the incident actions reported to you as a CSA are classified as a specific crime. Remember, classifying is the job of the UFPD. Your job is to merely report it. These are the remainder of those crimes considered reportable under mandate of the CLERY Act. Again, given the nature of how different crimes are categorized, please contact the UFPD to help ensure you are properly reporting those crimes that must be documented. The location of where the crime or incident occurs is essential in determining if the incident is actually required to be reported under the CLERY Act. The location, also referred to as CLERY geography, is both specific and somewhat difficult to determine. Please be sure to contact the UFPD as instructed in this training so that they may help you better determine the accurate location. The locations of criminal incidents required to be reported under the CLERY Act include 1. On campus, the buildings and properties or areas most commonly known as main campus. 2. On-campus residence hall or fraternity sorority houses. This is a subset of on-campus locations and is easily thought of as any location where students may have a residence on campus. 3. Public property. Public property is considered the sidewalks and roadways that border main campus. It also includes the roadways and sidewalks that exist throughout campus. Because of this unique aspect of CLERY geography, it is important that you attempt to determine as accurately as possible where the crime actually occurred. 4. Non-campus property or building. These are properties that are owned, controlled, leased, or operated by the University of Florida and are where student activities take place. These properties and buildings are located throughout the city of Gainesville, Alachua County, the state of Florida, the United States, and even overseas. Finally, please note that only those crimes that occur within these locations indicated are required to be reported under the CLERY Act. Regardless of this consideration, however, if a crime or incident is reported to you as a CSA, please encourage those victimized to report their incident to the appropriate law enforcement agency and obtain the medical treatment or mental health assessment they may need. This slide and the following slide are the actual crime statistic report form you should use to record information and report incidents detailed to you as a CSA within the University of Florida. The instructions on how to fill out this form are provided at the top of the document. This is the same form previously provided to you as an attachment found within the semi-annual notification message you likely have already received through email. This information is a continuation of the CSA report form from the previous slide. In your email, this information came to you as one complete form and is the information UFPD uses to not only document a CSA-reported criminal incident, but also to use when assessing whether or not an incident may require either an emergency notification or timely warning to be issued to the UF community. Please be sure to fill out the information as completely as possible. In addition to getting the facts, offer the reporting person your support. Let them know that the University of Florida offers many resources that are available and designed to assist them in their time of need. The Office of Victim Services at the UFPD provides free and confidential services for victims of sexual violence or any crime, as well as the Crisis and Emergency Resource Center at Peabody Hall and the Counseling and Wellness Center at Radio Road. For medical assistance, the Student Health Care Center at the infirmary is also available. To speak personally with a victim advocate during normal business hours, call 352-392-5648. After hours, you can reach an on-call victim advocate at 352-392-1111 and tell UFPD Dispatch that you need to speak with a victim advocate. You can learn more about available resources for students both on and off campus online at www.police.ufl.edu/victim-services. Once again, remind those reporting to you of their option to report their incident directly to the UFPD. Even if the person is reluctant to report the crime immediately, they may decide to report the crime at a later date. This is a good time to let them know that they were likely not the first person to be victimized by those involved and will likely not be the last if no one is made aware of what took place. There are many resources available on campus. On this slide, you will find a list to keep in mind when working with those in need. You can find a more robust listing at www.police.ufl.edu/victim-services. If you receive a report of a missing student, call the UFPD immediately at 352-392-1111. They will gather the information, determine if the student is enrolled, and begin the process of trying to find the student. They will work with any and all other departments within the University of Florida and/or other law enforcement agencies to locate the student. The University of Florida has a missing residential student policy that you can find online at www.police.ufl.edu under the UF Policy tab. If the student lives off campus, the appropriate local authorities will be called and will immediately begin the process of searching for the missing student. The University of Florida Police Department is open 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, and never closes. Our department is located on the corner of Museum Road and Newell Drive. If you need to report an emergency incident, please call 911 for emergency assistance. If you have a non-emergency, please call 352-392-1111 or you can visit our website at www.police.ufl.edu to learn more about the services provided. If you have questions, please take advantage of the resources available. The University of Florida Annual Campus Security and Fire Safety Report can be found online at www.police.ufl.edu/MISC/together.asp. Please review this document to better understand the many ways the University of Florida complies with the requirements of the CLERY Act and provides the information helpful for the consumers of this information. Thank you for taking the time to review this information and complete this training as a valued member of the University of Florida community. Remember, our goal remains together for a safe campus.
Once again, I want to thank each of you for participating in this very important training. We have long recognized that the goal of achieving campus safety is a shared responsibility. Your assistance while serving as a UF CSA helps tremendously in achieving that goal, and I personally thank you for your efforts. I hope you find this presentation both informative and helpful. If you still have questions or concerns following this training, please feel free to contact the UF CSA coordinator at your convenience. And go Gators!